There's a report coming out that he missed his start because there was an accident on the bridge. Joe Madden said that Ohtani was on one of the Angels buses that got stuck in transit across the bay to Oakland. So he had to take the BART. That made him too late to get his proper prep to pitch. So he's pitching tomorrow instead, tomorrow being today. But hold on, who's entered the chat? The San Francisco BART's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't blame us. And they try to cover it up here. I do this sometimes. Hey, first, wow, what an honor to host a baseball superstar like Ohtani on the BART. But just for the record, we did not experience any issues on our end. Do not put this on us. We confirmed with the Operations Control Center there was no delay for any Coliseum heading train during the Bay Bridge incident. So Joe Madden, that's on you. You guys don't know how to transfer. Our trains were running smoothly. So shout out to the BART for defending yourself. Watch Ohtani tonight.
Meanwhile, the MTA New York would have been like, we can't be bothered to even respond. Hey, time for Drawing a Blank. We start with the future of Julio Jones as he appears to be headed out of Atlanta. The latest report says the Falcons have been offered a first-round pick for the superstar receiver. Hey, we got a superstar receiver, Brandon Marshall. The team that should trade for Julio Jones is blank.
All right, let me tell a little story. 2006, drafted to the Denver Broncos with the 119th pick in the 4th round. And I stayed there for 4 years, then traded to the Miami Dolphins. I went from averaging 170 targets and 100 catches to around 140 targets and 80 catches. And I could never get those practices out of my head and those meetings out of my head and game day out of my head in Denver when I was in Miami. You remember those moments when you were just the man. And that is Julio Jones. 2015, 2016, his only 2 All-Pro years. His career high still in catches, in receptions, in yards a catch, and first downs. That was Kyle Shanahan, his offensive coordinator. So the 49ers, Julio Jones can't forget that. That's why whoever offered the first-round pick, Julio's like, please, I'm not going there. The same thing James Harden said. If I'm not going to this team, then don't trade for me. I'm not showing up. I'm gonna come in overweight. So Julio Jones right now probably has his eyes set out on Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, you might, first of all, it's an excellent story and an excellent take, but the audience might be like, why is he talking about Julio being overweight? Spoiler alert, America, there's a receiver we might have just recently showed on the show that Brandon thinks should maybe, do some crunches. I'm not naming names, but he has overweight on the mind. All right, my answer, though, I would love to say the Packers, but the Packers seem insistent on alienating rather than embracing their superstar quarterback, so I'm going to say the Ravens. Haven't we been saying that Lamar needs better receiving options? Weren't we saying that Antonio Brown maybe should go there? Well, send Julio there. Like, that would be, if you're Baltimore, you're drafting in the late 1st round anyway because you've been so good since you got Lamar. Now, to Brandon's point, I'm not sure how much Julio would love it, but Julio's already got the Hall of Fame level numbers. He's already got all the money. Reportedly, what he wants to do is win. Baltimore has a great chance, the best chance of anybody, to, of course, finish 2nd in the AFC to the Chiefs. But still, that's something. So I say the Ravens, Wilds.
Come on, you know what's happening. We know what's going to go on. We know Belichick is got his eyes on Julio Jones. We know Julio Jones saw what Randy Moss did in the latter stages of his career. We know that the Patriots spent the most money bringing in all sorts of talented players all across the board. And guess what? We also have the money to do it. Can we show how much money that we're still sitting on? We got a printing press up in Foxborough. Team's ready to win. 49ers, whatever. They're not going to Cleveland. There's one team out there that's the greatest franchise in the history of sports, and we got the money, and we got a great quarterback that he's friends with. So let's go. Jenna, I appreciate you asking this question, but we'll stay like this for the rest of the show. Buy your jerseys. Buy your
He's just an idiot.
He's a weirdo. Lakers Suns final minute of last night's game. You guys see this? Devin Booker getting tossed for this hard foul on Dennis Schroeder. Dangerous play, said Anthony Davis, who talked about it after the Lakers Game 3 win. Listen to this.
Can't happen. Can't do that. I mean, they've been chirping it's playoff basketball, but you don't push a guy out the air like that, two hands. It's a dirty play. Dennis could have really got hurt right there. You know, we keep it in between the lines. You know, we never want to, and I know Monty, you know, he's not that type of coach. I mean, he probably going to say something to him, but my coach for 3 years, but, you know, that just can't happen. You know, hard fouls, things like that, playoff basketball, we accept those. But, you know, just to blatantly push a guy, you know, with two hands out the air, it's a scary play. You know, good thing he's okay, but plays like that, you know, is unacceptable.
Hey, Brandon, the chippiness last night in Game 3 was blank.
Oh, my goodness. This time of year, AD said it. But all this talk about, oh, it can't happen, please. It's playoff basketball. Intensity goes up. I played for an amazing coach. AAU basketball, high school basketball, Coach Cone, legendary coach, but he harped on the fundamentals. And on the defensive side, he will always say, if a guy is going up and you have to foul him, he bet not score. So you got him going up, but he's going to score because it's kind of like a soft kind of foul. So he had to do this. Now look, he knew what the results was going to be. This is basketball. I'm sorry, please, man. 1990, this happened every single game. Please, these guys are soft.
No, okay. That's wow. Brandon. Put it in the take book. It's Brandon's worst take ever. It's been on the show 10 months. Worst take ever. Just happened right here today. All right. The chippiness at the end of the game was juvenile. And I don't mean multi-platinum recording artists of 400 Degrees juvenile. I mean like kids. Like whether it was the stuff on the bench with LeBron and Crowder, that was juvenile. That was just like kiddie stuff. And this was juvenile as in wildly immature. Listen, I understand Devin Booker was frustrated, and I do not mind a hard playoff foul. But a hard playoff foul goes north to south. You chop down on a guy. You don't go east to west pushing a guy. There is a reason that across the board, this was responded to like this. Brandon, this is a dangerous play. And it was actually fortunate
can you guys put me on camera?
Why? Can you not put him on camera? You don't want to be on camera?
Can you guys put me on camera? You're talking about, he did this. Like if he fully extended, now we're talking about something like
Brandon, the guy's in the air.
Hard. Did you see
Brandon,
how
the guy's in the air.
Oh my goodness.
Brandon, it's the same thing in the NFL.
The game has changed.
In the NFL, no. The game has not changed. This specific play has always been dirty. It's this in the NFL, the intensity might go up in the playoffs.
Of course.
But if a guy intentionally goes at your ankles, it's a dirty play. You know the difference between a hard hit over the middle and a guy trying to take your knees out. If you're in the air and you get two hands shoved from the side or behind, that's a dirty, dangerous
100%.
play. There's no question about it.
And what I'm 100%. And while all I'm saying is, we had guys on teams back in the day that literally occupied a seat on a bench just to come into games for those hard, dirty fouls. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting. I'm just too old school.
But we also maybe I'm too old. We also back in the day let the players occasionally punch the customers when they threw stuff at them. That's changed too. The NBA's changed a bit in 30 years. One of the things wilds that they don't allow is this.
This segment went off the rails. We got to go back to talking about Julio Jones. To Brandon's defense, I will try to soften it a little bit. I think Devin Booker knew that Jay Crowder was there, and he wasn't going to. He would have a moderate soft landing. That's one way. I don't think it's the dirtiest play in the world, but it's still a dirty play. My answer is CP3 tutorial. If you want to put a guy on the ground, you got to watch the maestro, Chris Paul, who was getting bumped by Kuzma. And it's like, oh, look, he sort of hit him with his shoulder, and he offers to help him up. No, he didn't. He tripped him. If you watch this angle, watch Chris Paul's left leg. Boom. Yeah. Trips Kuzma. He's like, I didn't trip you. I'll help you up. It's a great play. And Chris Paul, when you watch him, he's doing a lot of these little tricky plays, like a judo master there, including one at the ref, where he's like, he's like, get out of here. So Chris Paul was also frustrated, but there was no outward dangerous plays, just little trips.
Oh.
Chris Paul being Chris Paul.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of little trips, Kevin Wildes is weird and wonderful from our national pastime. Aaron Judge, lightning.